When did I first get into horror films? I first got into horror films when I was about 5, maybe 6 years old. One of the first horror films I can ever remember watching all the way through was John Carpenter's classic Halloween. This is the quintessential horror film. I also watched another film when I was really young. I didn't watch, all of it, but I watched a good percentage of it most of the time, and it was most of the Friday the 13th series. Now, I've absolutely loved horror films ever since I was about 5 or 6 years old. It's just always been with me. I mean, even before I really got deep into independent films and cult films and exploitation horror and all this other kind of stuff, I was still really, really into like slasher films, stuff like Halloween. I could watch this, I mean, I didn't really watch any of the really crazy stuff until I was about in 7th grade. 7th grade, this was around the time that I stopped being afraid of Freddy Krueger. And now I've seen all the films and I absolutely love the series. But around this age is when I stumbled upon a movie that has remained to be one of my all-time favorite just horror films in general. I watched this movie on a whim on Netflix Instant Play when it was still on there. I can't remember the exact date, but I remember I was in the 7th grade, and I remember this movie scared me a lot. And I thought it was very, very gory and crazy, and probably one of the just like sickest movies ever made. That movie was The Evil Dead, which I've got all of them, including the remake and the official bootleg edition director's cut of Army of Darkness. Needless to say, my collection and love for horror is rather extensive. I want to say around the same time, maybe the summer before 8th grade, I watched another film. This film was violent, lowbrow, funny, off the wall, goofy, badly made. That movie was The Toxic Avenger. The Toxic Avenger. I have my Blu-ray of it, my special edition Blu-ray, which I love. I watched The Toxic Avenger, and it shocked me. I was surprised by the level of violence in the film. And now I look at The Toxic Avenger and I'm like, yeah, this movie's still pretty gory, but it doesn't have as much explicit gore as, like, some of the other movies in my collection. That is when I got, at this point is where I got into a lot of independent films, cult films, and splatter films. Between the ages of 14 and 17, I experienced a very large influx of film watching, especially watching a lot of really just obscure films. Films like Fritz the Cat, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Eraserhead, From Beyond, Old Boy, Taxi Driver, Maniac, Dawn of the Dead, Tokyo Gore Police, Gutterballs, Blood-Sucking Freaks, and Takashi Miike's Audition. It takes a special breed to watch this movie. Someone like me who owns movies like this. People say that I'm sick, that I'm depraved, that I'm desensitized, that I may even become a serial killer one day. I can definitely say that I am pretty depraved, mentally that is. I could say that I am very desensitized to violence and sexual content. I could even go as far to say that maybe I am a little sick in the head. But aren't we all? And I found this. My mecca. My inspiration. Horror films have really shaped me to what I am today. And, I mean, if it wasn't for the likes of York Buck Garrett, Stanley Kubrick, Larry Clark, the Solska sisters, Ruggero Deodato, Harmony Korine, Chan-wook Park, Takashi Miike, Pascal Langier, and many, many others, including Sam Raimi, of course, and John Carpenter. If it wasn't for all these people, I don't think I would be the person I am today. And that is really why horror films are important to me, because they're who I am. I don't know what else to say about it. I love horror films, and I guess that's just it. Anyway, guys, I guess this is it. The end of the show. I hope you guys thought this was interesting.